All right, welcome everybody. It's our weekly Sunday Paranormal Rockdown podcast. We have two amazing guests today. We have Dana Stricker and Nathan Elwell. Is that how you say his last name, Jamie?
Mhm. Yeah.
So we're good. We're going to be talking about paranormal Rockdown, paranormal events in general, and just paranormal and locations. Jamie, if you want to go ahead and talk and tell everybody um, our sponsors today.
Yeah. We just want to do a special shout out to all of our sponsors because without them, none of this would be possible. We have Eternal Paranormal, which I'll give them a shout out because they had one of their very first public investigations last night at the 1861 Masonic Lodge. So kudos to them. We have the Wisconsin Bearded Brothers. They're amazing. They're going to be offering security for us during the events. We've got Small Town Productions. We've got Unturned Pages, Tamerlane Media, Boo Bitches Paranormal, Wisconsin's Paranormal Party, Lotus Witch, Phantasm Paranormal, Hot Headed Radio, Beacon TV, and Para with the Normal. So a special thank you to all of them. And you'll be able to see most of them at the Rockdown on Saturday and quite a few of them Friday evening during the concert. The concert is being held Friday. It's being held in Brooklyn, Wisconsin, and our bands that we've got playing are Fiction We Create, January, Etched in Ember, Again We Rise, Switchblade Saturdays, Left on Red, and our headliner is Green Jelly. And then you can join us all at Broadhead Manor on Saturday starting at 10 a.m. We're hosting the Paracon from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we'll have gallery readings through the day, two different ones. We'll have workshops. We'll have in the evening investigations and a seance that you can purchase tickets for. And also Friday, if you're not interested in going to the bands, you can do mini investigations as well. Hey, Tiffy. So now we're going to introduce our one and only. Did you have something to throw in there, Chris?
I was just gonna say, and don't forget, we're gonna be doing the special thing with Mike Gagliano. He's gonna be doing stand-up comedy, which he rarely does. So he's doing a special thing for us at Broadhead. Tickets will be posted on the website here shortly for that. Those are gonna be based on donations. So even if you donate $5, you can get a ticket, and all that money for those donations is going right to Bill to Broadhead Manor to help get that new roof put on. So.
Woo-hoo.
But yeah, let's bring
Alrighty,
in
so
Dana and learn a little bit about Dana and what she's all about.
Hi, guys.
hi, Dana. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm still trying to
so
figure out
let's-
what I'm all about. That introduction. I'm like, let's see if I can
Earlier
figure
when
it out.
you said earlier when you said you were old, I'm like, no, you're legendary. There's a huge difference.
Aren't you sweet? That's a I prefer that.
Huge difference. So why
Okay.
don't you tell people who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Well, I am a Wisconsinite, born and bred. I am from a very tiny town called Palmyra, Wisconsin, which is neighbors with Whitewater, Wisconsin, which a lot of people in the paranormal are kind of at least familiar with. And I am a psychic medium. I've been working professionally at that since I was 15 years old. I am now slightly older. I'm more legendary now. So I've been at it for a little bit of time. So now I do, mainly what I do is read in Wisconsin, like my clients that I've had for many years and new clients as well. But I am out at a lot of events. I do a lot of events, a lot of speaking, that sort of thing on other parts of the paranormal because I started investigating, like, I think technically investigating because that wasn't a thing. I was 19 when I went to a haunted apartment in Whitewater, Wisconsin. That was the first time And back then we were still using stuff like powder traps, if you're familiar with those, because we
Yep.
didn't have any gizmos and stuff like that. So I've been doing this stuff for a while. So I've gotten a lot of opportunities over the years to go to some cool places and work with some cool people. So that is me.
And where's the furthest that you've traveled when it comes to the doing your services?
My goodness, I have, well, domestically, I worked in Ireland for about a year doing tarot, and this is way back in the day. We're talking, I was 18, 19-ish. I don't even remember. But I couldn't work there, obviously, because I wasn't from there. But I was engaged to somebody from there at that time, and my only means was reading. I started out with tarot. I no longer use tarot, but I still like it and stuff. I just don't use it anymore. And that's how I made a little cash. So I got a lot of experience on Northern Ireland is where I lived. So that's probably the furthest I've been to investigate. I mean, I've done to really investigate or event investigate is really different, as you both probably realize. You know, I've done some investigation in like Jamaica and all those places when I would go on the Strange Escape stuff, the cruises and stuff like that. But, you know, I go to Texas. I do a lot in Michigan. I go to Ohio. I go a lot of places. So I'm lucky that way. So that's only been within the last probably 7 years or so that I started going out. But I think the first time I ever spoke was a paranormal conference in Janesville, Wisconsin. And I talked about the Ouija board 150 years ago when the earth was new. That was my first talk that I ever gave. So
really? And was that just a few years ago?
No, that was when I was very young. Yeah, that was again like the same area, like the 1819 type area. So
Gotcha.
Because I was back and forth from Ireland, I think 2 or 3 times. And yeah.
Wow.
So I kind of fell into all of it, really.
Sounds incredible, though, you know, especially when you have that ability and you're able to assist others, you know,
Yeah.
and just.
I had to keep it on the down low, though. My dad wasn't real thrilled with it. He was Irish Catholic, so there was a lot of Hail Mary and going on as a child. Talking about things. There's a man in the corner of the dining room, and he'd be like, "Rrr." But he didn't let me tell anybody in high school I was reading tarot cards, because he's like, we'll have people with pitchforks and torches outside the house. And he wasn't wrong, you know.
Yep, exactly.
Back in the 80s, it was like early 80s or whatever. So I've had an interesting run.
So being that you said that, when did you start seeing that switch in the stigmatism of the paranormal's all dark and evil? When did you start seeing that switch?
I think like the huge switch started to happen as soon as Paranormal TV was born. So, you know, you had Ghost Hunters, obviously, Paranormal State, you know, all of those early shows like that. And not so much Ghost Hunters. I loved Ghost Hunters, by the way. I was really into that show because you never saw that. And I'd been doing things like that forever when that came out. And then Paranormal State had Chip Coffey. And that's the first psychic medium that I saw on TV like that. And now he's a really good friend of mine, which is weird. It's a very strange flip of chance. But, you know, it's just really cool. And I think it was that made it less, you know, everybody, oh, it's the devil. And there's still a lot of that actually, but it's not quite the same. And I think it like clarified for people what we're actually doing, you know, like Chip, as far as what we're doing in a house when we're seeing things or sensing things, or any psychic that's on TV. Chris Fleming's another one that was on, you know, he had some great shows too. So I think that's kind of when it took away some of that scariness or super creepiness that people kind of felt kind of like, oh, I don't want to be around that. So I really do
Right.
think that paranormal TV is probably what helped drive it out of the dark ages a little bit. And now it's just morphed into, there's a lot more of us out there admitting that we do this. Whereas you wouldn't have seen that back in the 1980s. There were very few.
I gotta agree with you with that, because like when I was seeing like stuff when I was younger and everything, and kind of doing ghost hunting and everything, you tell people, yeah, you do ghost hunting and everything, and they look at you like you're crazy. And
Yeah.
then as soon as Ghost Hunters blew up, you tell people there, and they're like, "Oh, I love Ghost Hunters. I watch this show every week."
You do that? And it's like, I've been doing it for a few years, but yes.
Yep.
And it also, I think it's helped a lot of people, at the end of the day, that they don't feel they're crazy when somebody else is coming in and having, now we have all the gizmos and recorders and all the stuff where you can play it for them. Ghost Hunters started that. This is what we caught, where they're actually getting feedback that isn't any of them, which validates them. So I think that took a lot of that. Granted, not all recordings are like friendly, but at least you're not nuts too. So
that's right.
Correct.
Well, and it's people like us educating the world, educating those that aren't aware of really what's going on in, per se, that afterlife, and that it's okay. There's nothing wrong with the visions you're seeing, the things you're hearing,
Right.
those kind of things. It's there, and it's there to stay, whether people like it or not.
Right. So we can really thank like the old shows. Ghost Hunters, Ghost Lab is another one. Kling Brothers. They were early.
Good guys.
And Paranormal State. That's Johnny Zaffis, all of those guys. All of that is the old school type guys. So
absolutely. So let's bring up Broadhead Manor. You've been there a few times.
I have a couple times. Yeah, I love Bill.
And who doesn't love Bill?
I know, isn't
Bill
he the best? He's great. I've been there with I work with the Chicago Ghost League is one of I work with two groups. I don't do groups. I'm not a good plays well with others type. Every group I'd been in prior, there's always some political damage going on somewhere with people back and forth. These two particular groups, I've never had that experience, so I will work with them when they do stuff. And I did go with the Chicago Ghost League, I think it was like a year and a half ago. And it was only a handful of us. And then I've done two of the conferences there that were Nick Sarlo's Shadow Hunters did two events there too. So
Spirits in the Spring.
Yep, Spirits in the Spring. I've literally did the very first. I've done Spirits for years. I think it was 8 years in a row I did that one. He started that a long time ago, but he's usually in Illinois, so it was kind of fun to have it in Broadhead. But yeah. But
and what interests you specifically in Broadhead?
In Broadhead, I didn't know much about Broadhead. Like I didn't know. I had seen it like on Facebook where people have it in their feed on Broadhead Manor, this and that. And I'm like, Broadhead Manor, and I'm thinking Manor. Well, it was a school. So my friend that I actually worked with had gone to that school. And I said, so? And she's like, well, I don't know. I was in school. She was older at the time. So when I went with Bill, my friend Bill, not the other Bill, with Chicago Ghost League, we actually were all sitting in the gymnasium, and I don't even remember what we were talking about. Doesn't matter. The janitors talked. I mean, we heard him. The crabby guy back in the, where I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Loud as plain as day. And I'm like, let me go back there.
I got
anything else. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And we stayed overnight. which, is like camping kind of,
Yeah, it is.
because it's still being fixed up, but
Yeah.
there's definitely things going on in there. So I've witnessed a couple things. So it's an interesting place. And again, I'm all for supporting Broadhead Manor and Bill Walter, because he's done a lot of work trying to get that place,
100%.
So anytime I'm asked to do an event there, I like to say yes. Especially if it's some of it's going to him. So
Exactly. The more people that we can get the word out to, the more support the building and Bill have, and that's what's most important. It's
Correct.
not just for
Yeah.
our benefit. It's
no,
it's for Bill's benefit and the
Yes.
Manors, because they deserve it. Any location like that deserves it.
yeah, it's a cool building.
Well, it's incredible. Well, with that being said from yourself, I think this would be a good time to bring in our next guest, because he's never been to the manor. He's
Oh.
only heard about things, and he's one of the biggest skeptics and debunkers that are out there. So I'd like you to fill him in a little bit on your experience there. So why
Sure.
don't we bring in Nathaniel Elwell?
How is everyone tonight?
Hello.
Doing great, Nate. How about yourself?
Doing great, Chris, Jamie Lynn, Dana. I got to tell you, your story's fascinating. First and foremost, I've never been to Ireland. It is on my bucket list, so I'm super
Yeah.
jealous about that. I am so looking forward to being at Broadhead. I've heard a lot about the location from Bill. I've heard a lot about it from other people. So I'm ready to get in there and experience it for myself.
I hope you meet the janitor.
That's
That
the
one's
one.
hard to debunk.
That's the one I'm looking forward to.
Yes. And I'm like, for being what I do, I'm pretty skeptical. I don't go in everywhere like it's haunted. I'm pretty jaded. I'm like, yeah.
Realistically,
If
from
I
my
sense
standpoint,
something in there, I'll say it, but that doesn't mean it's going to do something, or he or she's going to like pop up and, do something. Whereas when you're actually investigating and you're just hanging out and you hear this guy yelling at you and there's nobody there, that was cool.
see, I would love to have that kind of experience. And for me, when I go into a location, I go into a location thinking that it's not haunted, because if I go in with the pre-thought that I'm
Yep.
going to experience something, then I am more likely to hear something that I think may be paranormal.
Yep.
And or experience something, whether it be visual, whatever the case may be. If you go in with the mindset that it's just a building, then you are less likely to experience something, and you might think a little bit more logically.
So,
True.
Nate, what you just said, I got a question for you on that. So how do you get your mind to do that when you see all these podcasts that we're doing about Broadhead, everybody's stories? You've talked to Bill. Bill's told you the stories about it being haunted. How do you shut your mind off from those stories and be like, nope, it's not haunted?
So for me, it's like an on-off switch. When I know a lot of people are not like this, but I can hear stories all day long, and I can go into a place, and as soon as I walk in that location, I put the off switch. I don't think of any of the history, none of the stories that I've heard, and I just focus on the building itself. I did the same thing when I went and investigated the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast in Fall River, Mass. One of the most famously haunted places, in the world, to be honest. I slept on the floor where they found Mrs. Borden's body. I experienced nothing the whole night.
Yeah. Do you think that would
Well,
change
that's
if you
good,
would go
because I
back
don't know if I'd
again?
want to sleep on the floor where they found her body.
Do what?
No kidding.
I don't think I'd want to sleep on the floor where they found her body. That's just a me thing, I think.
I sleep at some strange places. I know that Bill said something about an embalming table, and I have plans on sleeping on that.
I know where that is.
I think the last night I'm there, we had a discussion. Last time I brought Bill on my podcast, he was a little bit of a guest. I'm going to have him on again, closer to the Rockdown. Him and Jamie Lynn are coming on closer to the Rockdown. And I'm going to take one of the tents that he happens to have. I'm going to go camp out near the burial grounds.
Oh, okay.
That'll be interesting. Very interesting.
Yep.
I've actually slept on the cot that Ed Gein was in jail on, in his cell.
I'm jealous.
Wow.
If you know. Yeah.
And how
and
did
I
that
slept
go
like a
for
baby.
you? Oh, there you go.
I slept just fine.
He had a clean conscience,
Just fine.
honey. He didn't think he did
Sometimes-
anything wrong.
I think a lot of people
No.
don't realize that when you go into these places, right, that are very well known, which I didn't know anything about Broadhead before Bill contacted me to attend this event, to be honest. I knew nothing about it. I'd heard the location, but that was basically it. Wisconsin's going to be the furthest that I've traveled for an event. But the thing is when you hear all of these stories, right, and you look deep into the history of the location, that can mess with your mind. It can cause you psychosomatically to experience things. So
Yeah.
the best thing to do is listen to the stories, but don't take the stories to heart. Take them with a grain of salt. That's the way I operate. I go in, and everything that I've heard from the moment that I was invited to the moment I get to that building is dropped as soon as I set foot in the building.
Yeah. Well, I did that last night at an investigation that we were at. Before I left, I made the comment to those that were remaining. I'm like, you guys keep asking to talk to Rosie over and over and over again. I said, then you're almost asking to only speak to one person. That's like walking into a classroom, having a speech, but only talking to Bridget in the front corner. You're not engaging with everybody else. So you need to
Correct.
open your mind. You know,
Correct.
so it's the same concept.
Scotty Rock, how are you? So
Hi,
not
Scotty.
just that, but when you go into a location similar to what you're describing, right, and you're trying to contact one specific entity, correct? Here's the thing. Is you're imprinting that energy on that location. You are therefore in the process of creating an egregore or a thought form. So you're imprinting that energy, and you could create a spirit based off of the amount of energy that's imprinted if enough people go in there with that intention.
Mm-hmm. I've done that a few times. In fact, we did it at Ashmore Estates with Richard Estep and MJ Dickinson. We were all there, and we all just sat in a circle, and we said, okay, we're all going to think about this one thing. And then we asked the question, and that's what came up on that EVP, you know, what everybody was thinking.
So I just thought about this because I jumped right in and we just started the conversation because that's kind of how I do things. Do you guys want to know a little bit about me?
Absolutely.
So I've been in the paranormal field for 18 years as of July 6th. I am the founder of two teams. I have the Southeastern Ghost Research Association in Alabama. I had the Newport Paranormal Society here in New Hampshire. I download and test paranormal applications from the App Store and or the Google Play Store. I actually have a book coming out on that at the end of 2025 called Downloading for the Dead, Investigating Paranormal Applications. I also go through TikTok, and people either send me or I find paranormal videos that are supposedly real paranormal activity, and I break them down and explain them in a logical manner, showing you screenshots and still framing. A 1-minute video takes me about 3 weeks to create. So I'm all over the place. I also have my own podcast on Wednesday nights.
I know how exciting, because you just started that. You had the legendary Kenneth Drake on.
Oh, I love Kenneth. Kenneth is amazing. One of the people that I respect the most. I love him to death.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, so
Very good guy.
I am all over the place when it comes to this. So let me tell you, to be invited to Broadhead, it is my honor to attend this event, like with all these great people.
Well, we are very honored to have you guys. So we're just thrilled beyond what you guys can even imagine at all of the support that we've received for the manor and for this event. We've got so many great people coming. In fact, we can't fit them all on our flyer. You know,
Yeah,
we wish we could, but we can't, you know?
Yeah,
So we pretty
Thank
much
you.
stopped updating it.
I'm actually working on my research folder for Broadhead now because I like to know as much about the location as I can before I go in. And
Yeah.
to give everyone watching an example of how I do research, one of my favorite places to go is Medfield State Hospital in Medfield, Massachusetts, right? This is my research folder for Medfield State Hospital.
Holy
Wow.
cow.
I have all the
That's
property
insane.
records. I have all the property records from 1912 up until 1985. And
Wow.
this
Thanks,
folder
Scotty.
over here is actually all of the graves that are in the Medfield State Cemetery.
Wow.
So
That's really impressive.
that's how I research.
Well, I'm interested in seeing some of your research because I
Yeah.
know quite a bit has been done, but there is so much that hasn't been done in regards to the manor itself and the people that have been there and the area around it. because it's
Mhm.
not just this school, it's the
Right.
land around it and the
Exactly.
city itself.
Which is
Right.
exactly why I said on the last night I want to camp outside, because it's not just the building, it's the land.
Right.
Yeah.
And I want, if I'm going to be there, I want to hit all aspects. I want to hit the whole gambit.
Yeah. So Dana, is there anything else that you would be able to share with Nate in regards to things you may have experienced there? Or you just don't want to share that
There's
and let him experience it on his
well,
own?
no, maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, because when I go into
Mm-hmm.
locations, I don't, and aside from like they say you're going here, and I don't Google. Everybody's like, "Yeah, sure you don't, Dana." I
I
seriously
don't.
don't. The reason I don't is because it throws me off my game. So I understand what you're saying about not knowing, like, let's say the ghost is Mildred. I don't need to know there's a Mildred. I want to
Right.
be able to pick up Mildred on my own, because otherwise it's not, that's my subconscious coming out, not something else.
Yeah, and
And I don't want that.
lucky for me, I understand that process because my girlfriend's a psychic. So we met on the USS Salem battleship, and she was
Oh,
asking me questions about the ship, and I'm like, "Yeah, you're hitting pretty solid right now." And I am not gonna lie to you. The week after, I sent her a message and all this, so I gotta ask because I'm curious. How much of that information did you Google? Apparently, that was the wrong thing to ask.
Yeah, probably not good if she really didn't.
But
exactly.
This is still your girlfriend?
yeah, oh yes, but that's my skeptical mindset. You know, I assumed she Googled something before she went there, and she was asking questions, but she was like, "No, I didn't Google anything." She was the person who changed my mind that psychics can actually pick up on these things.
Mm-hmm. I
So
wasn't a firm believer either. I mean, I went through, my 20s and 30s, and that's when the whole really big, the psychic network on the telephones where you could call all night long and pay, $2 per minute or whatever it was.
Miss Cleo
You know,
era?
so Riley, that's going to be a long conversation comment. So if you want to add me on Facebook, shoot me a DM, and I'll tell you how I do my research if it helps you out at all.
No, Scotty Rorick, you're right. Google is not our friend. I
It is not.
100% concur with that comment.
It is
And
not.
I know it's
What-
done, and I don't like that.
What is your friend is the historical societies within the neighborhood.
That too, but I stay out of there too till after I've been in the house.
Well, yeah. In your case, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
In my case, I'm visiting it beforehand. Well, I
Right.
won't have the chance for Broadhead.
Right.
Broadhead, I'm just going in blind. I might call the historical society though. So
and I'm right in between both of you guys. I like a little bit of the history, like give me roundabout dates, give me, people like, I don't mean, tell me that there's a janitor, that there's a principal, that I don't want to know what they're doing, where they're staying, what's happening. I want to experience those things, jot them down. Then when I leave, that's when I like to do my history, because then to me, was there relevance into what we were picking up on, not
Right.
just in my head, but through these technical mechanisms that we're using. Why
Mhm.
did that say John? Oh,
Right.
well, John was the janitor. You know what I mean? Those kind of things.
yeah,
But I don't want that impression in my head beforehand.
and that's a great mindset. For me, like the only reason I want to know what's going on in the building is I want to know where I can position myself to
Mhm.
experience the most amount of activity. Because a lot of people think that I'm a skeptic based off of what I do on TikTok and all that. Yes, I am a skeptic, but I'm also a firm believer. I've experienced enough in my 18 years to know that this stuff exists, and there's things out there you cannot explain.
Yep.
But
Absolutely.
when I go into a location, I want to know if I can explain it, because sometimes if you can explain it, it eases the, I guess you could say, trepidation of the location owner. They could be like, okay, well, I never would have thought of that, and I can look into that. And maybe it's something that they could fix that in a future investigation would not cause a false anomaly or any kind of false evidence, if that makes sense.
Well, right. If you know that there's a door that's swinging freely because, somebody walked on the floor upstairs, I mean, it's debunkable, if somebody's reporting the same thing, but you got people walking up there and the door is constantly swinging in front of you, well, it's because, yeah. So absolutely, you're 100% correct. There's things that can be fixed environmentally.
And I can't wait to see this location. Like, I've seen photos of it. And I love Bill to death. Everyone's all like, "Oh, I gotta try Bill's nuts." That's the main thing. I really don't eat nuts. Like, I'm not a nut person.
Then just suck on them and spit them out.
I don't like how that sounded. But no, like, for me, like, funny story about Bill was last time I had him as a guest on my podcast, we were talking about it, and I said I don't eat any kind of nuts except for Brazil nuts, which Brazil nuts are actually poisonous if you eat too many of them in one sitting. And he was like, "Well, would it help you any if I wear a Jamaican Speedo?" No, Bill, that won't help me any.
Sounds like Bill.
I love him to death, though. He is such a great guy.
He is. And the building itself, everybody that I've known that's pulled up upon it is almost like, holy cow, it's almost intimidating at how huge it is. Because you think of an old school, you think of these little old schoolhouses.
Right.
So I'm anxious to see your responses in regards to.
I'm intrigued to see it because the only building that I've ever drove up on that I found intimidating was the Castillo de San Marcos in St. Augustine, Florida.
Oh, I've seen pictures and I can imagine those.
Yeah.
Really?
That
I
place
didn't
is
investigate.
intimidating.
I investigated the lighthouse.
Oh, I've done the lighthouse. I did the lighthouse. I did the lightkeeper's house. This was all in 1 week, by the way. I was on vacation, so I scheduled some investigations. I did the lighthouse. I did the lightkeeper's house. I did the Castillo de San Marcos, and I did the Ponce de Leon Fountain of Youth Park.
Oh, that's
Wow.
So the whole reason for the vacation was because I was invited in by the Ponce de Leon Fountain of Youth Park because they wanted me to investigate sounds of Native American spirits, quote unquote, ceremonial drumming that they could not explain.
That is so cool to me.
I will tell you that on EVP, I did catch what sounded like ceremonial tom-tom drums that I have no explanation for.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. That's unbelievable.
I'll actually be down in Florida 3 weeks from now for my daughter's graduation from high school. God, I'm getting old. But so my daughter's graduating from high school, and my father has never been to St. Augustine. So I have a plan on making him make a side trip so he can go and see the Castillo for himself.
I've never been there. I'd love to.
I've been, but I didn't investigate. I just, yeah.
I did the tour of the old jail. They wouldn't let me investigate. They said that something along the lines of it wouldn't have been enough of a time frame to make up the waivers and all that they had to make.
Oh.
But you know what? That's fine. I toured it. I put myself in the stocks outside. Like, anytime I see a stockade, I've got to put myself in it. I can't help it.
Well, I have a quick question to ask you guys. Going back to the Rockdown, this isn't just all about the paranormal. It's also about the music aspect of it.
Yes.
Are you guys coming to the concerts Friday evening?
I will be there.
I don't know.
Well, yeah.
I will be
I
there.
haven't.
I actually found Green Jelly. I think it was Green Jelly on YouTube.
Yeah.
And their music is really good. I enjoy it.
Well, sorry guys, but I did have to Google them. And
Don't be sorry, because so will I after the show. So it's okay.
I'm like, it brought me back to a couple of the songs. I'm like, oh, I actually know this song. So yeah, I aged myself with it.
So a little history, just so you guys know. I'm sure you guys have heard the band Tool. Jamie, you might not have because you haven't been big into the rock. But Nate, I'm sure you heard of Tool.
I do
I'm
love
a
Tool.
metalhead. I love Tool.
Yeah. So the lead singer of Tool is actually, he started in Green Jelly. That's how Tool became about, was because of Green Jelly.
Gotcha.
James Maynard, correct?
Yep. He was originally the singer of Green Jelly.
The only thing that's ever confused me about James Maynard is how he calls himself Reverend James Maynard. Is he actually a reverend?
That I'm not sure on.
I've always been curious about that, but I've never Googled it because, well, Google lies sometimes. So
It sure does. It's one of those.
But no,
you
I
just
didn't know
don't
that.
know.
That's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
is pretty-
I'm a reverend too. If you want to do the one off the internet, like I can marry people, but I don't
So-
think that
Speaking of being a reverend, did you guys know that there's a church of gnomes?
No?
No.
Yeah, my girlfriend's saying that she's going to go and get her degree, quote unquote, to become a minister in the church of gnomes. I am deathly afraid of gnomes.
Are you?
I am.
Why?
I don't like
don't
them. I
even
think
laugh,
they're
but
creepy.
why?
gnomes, elves, fairies,
It is one of the few things that I'm
elementals are
afraid of.
sometimes nasty. I mean, believe
It's
it
one
or
of the-
not.
It is one of the few
Right.
things that I'm afraid of, and
Yeah.
I've never been able to explain it. But like, if I see a garden gnome or a
I was
lawn
just
gnome,
gonna say,
I go the other direction.
They're like everywhere.
I'm like,
They
What
are.
is it?
put a garden
I will
gnome on
not
your
go.
table during the event.
I will not go into the garden section of Walmart during summer.
Oh
Wow,
wow.
Phobia, man. That's like,
Yeah.
It's a weird one,
That's
but
not-
it is what it is.
damn.
Yeah, that's not just a fear, that's a phobia.
Jenny.
I'm gonna tell Bill to put a gnome in his car when he picks you up from the airport.
I really want to shake your hand, Chris, but I'm gonna hurt you. No, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Even though it's a phobia, I wouldn't get in the car until he moved it, but I would definitely laugh at it afterwards.
Mhm.
All I
My
can
daughter
think of
makes
is
it a
the
point-
Munchkin song.
My daughter
Or
makes it a
Wizard
point to
West.
send me one in the mail every single Christmas, so I'm kind of used to it. And they all end up in the same place, the garbage.
Mhm.
You
It's
just
no
open
different than a
yourself wide up for people to do gnome damage to you at this event.
That's right. You're gonna be hurting at the Rockdown now that everybody knows that little secret.
You know what?
You're
Part of
gonna
the
be hiding in your
paranormal
own little
facing
corner.
part of the paranormal facing your fears, correct?
It is.
So
It
I
is.
am also slightly afraid of the dark. I don't like being without ambient light. So for me, when I go into Broadhead, my challenge to myself is I want to walk the location without a flashlight. I want no lights.
You might need one
Awesome.
upstairs.
Yeah, it gets pretty dark. Oh,
It's not
instead
even
of hiding all
dark,
those little ducks around places, you know how people have been
No,
doing that?
no, 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 no.
Hide
Do
a
not
bunch
even
of
bring up
gnomes?
this idea. I know where you're going.
Gnome
I
army.
don't like it.
All right, you win. just a dozen, not 100, just a dozen.
Oh,
You're talking about how Project Fear hides rubber ducks throughout their videos.
Yep.
I don't like
we
it.
can always show up when he's camping at Broadhead and just surround his tent with him.
This is true. This is very true.
My
Sorry,
mind
Nate.
going tick, 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 tick,
I don't
tick.
like it. I'll laugh at it,
He's
but I
like,
don't like it.
He's like, I used to like you guys up until 3 minutes ago.
Right.
Oh, I still like you guys. I understand that's all in good fun.
Too funny. Too funny.
And let me tell you, if you're in a place and the activity is slow, I don't think there's a paranormal team out there that has ever went into a location and the activity is kind of slow, that if you have the opportunity to jump scare one of your other cohorts, that you don't take the
Mhm.
opportunity.
Correct.
Well, like Lori down there just said, Ron builds all of these characters and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, he does, doesn't
He's just gonna have to start making a big old gnome,
Oh,
life
man.
size.
This is
I don't
not
think
going
Bill
to go
would let
well.
him do that to you.
No, it is what it is. I mean, it's all in good fun. I mean, I don't hate on anybody if they take my fear to an advantage, because it's a very weird one. I'm not gonna lie, it's weird.
It's different.
But it's all in good fun.
It is. And honestly, if we knew that it was gonna, make you cry and not sleep at night, we wouldn't do it.
No, I wouldn't cry. I wouldn't sleep at night. I'm just not going near it.
You just run the other way.
I did once knock over a shelf at Walmart that had gnomes on it, but I accidentally tripped.
Oops.
bet.
Yeah, that happened like probably 9 or 10 years ago.
Oops. So, all right, let's change the
happens.
subject. We'll get off gnomes. Dana, so
Yeah.
Is there anybody on the flyer or that is coming to the Rockdown that you haven't met and that you're interested in getting to know?
Lots of people actually, because a lot of them
Yeah.
are coming in. I've never met Sam Baltrusas before.
Sam is
Oh,
amazing.
I've never been. I go in different ways or something. I've just never run into him, but I have friends that know him really well, so it's kind of goofy.
yeah.
I seriously would like to meet Stormy Daniels, to be honest. I'm
A
going to
lot
be
of people
honest. I
do.
think she's smart as a whip, that woman. Sorry, everybody that doesn't like that. But
Mhm.
that's kind of exciting for me because I like her. I think she's funny.
Well, and she's really into the paranormal too.
I know
know,
that. That's the other
so
part of
that's-
it that people don't really put that together with, and it doesn't surprise me in the least. But I'm looking forward to seeing her, at least seeing her there. And
Right.
I don't know. There's quite a few people on that roster. I'm drawing a blank now because you put me on the spot, man.
That happens. That happens.
Well, my friend Scotty Work will be there. That makes me happy because I haven't seen him in a long time. There's
Love
people
Scotty.
I haven't seen in a long time that's going to be there too. So that's
So I
fun.
just realized I mispronounced his last name earlier, so I apologize, Scotty.
Is he still on here?
If he is, then I apologize. I mispronounced his last name.
He'll probably fine with it.
Yeah. He just goes with the flow.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of people coming to this one that are different people and then there's some that are the same. So I guess I like to socialize and stuff like that. I don't know. I like events in general. So whoever I get
Yeah,
to meet,
me
I'll be
too.
happy to meet. And it's always good to expand that so people from all over the place. So I'm interested in all of it. But I'm also
And what
interested
about
because
you?
I'm a Wisconsin person and it's a Wisconsin event. So that makes me happy because we
Valid.
don't have a lot of them.
No, we don't. We really don't. And I'm so glad that we are. So what about you, Nate? Are you interested in meeting anybody?
There is so many amazing guests that are going to be attending this event. It's very difficult to list. I know that obviously I'm going to be sure to hook up with Dana and at least have a conversation with her in person. That's for sure. Was it this event that Chad Lindbergh is attending is via a transmission, right? It's not going to be in person.
No, Chad's coming in person.
That would be mine.
Yeah, Chad's coming in
Because
person.
I have always admired his work in film.
Mhm.
And it wasn't even the Fast and the Furious. I know that's kind of where he got his I guess you could say the people know who he is kind of deal.
Mhm.
But I've always admired his work. I think he's an amazing actor. And I didn't know he was in the paranormal until about a year ago. So for me, if I had to choose one person that I guess you could say hands down looking forward to meeting, it would be him. I've actually sent him emails to be on my podcast, but I've not gotten a response yet. So
Well, fingers crossed. Now you can, shake his hand and get him on the podcast.
And then there's
I'm
that
hoping.
Mike fella that I just saw in Texas not too long ago. That's posting up here.
But to be honest with you, that guest list is so long, and you guys have such an amazing event going on. I'm looking forward to meeting the bands. I'm looking forward to meeting everyone who's going to be there, to be honest. I don't know who's looking forward to meeting me because, hell, I wouldn't want to meet me. So I am looking forward to the event as a whole.
That's true.
Oh, Jenny.
I'm anxious
yes.
to meet you.
Jenny, amazing. I've been on her podcast multiple times. I love Jenny. She's amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
I'm excited to meet a lot of them. I haven't met probably 80% of them, so I'm excited to meet almost everybody.
And I got to look at it to see who I haven't met.
Me.
Yeah, you, Dave Childers, Jen Jacobs.
So David is amazing. You'll love David. If you've not met David, you've probably not met Alora Huey. Alora is amazing as well. I've not met her in person yet either, so this will be my first time, but I have spoken to her multiple times.
Yeah. I've talked to David a couple of times.
That's a weird request, but I'll autograph your kneecap. Why not?
Why do you have 3 knees?
Oh dear.
What?
Why do you have 3 knees, Nate?
No, I don't. Someone just said I'm gonna have Nate autograph my kneecap.
No, you have 3 knees.
Do I?
A left knee, a right knee, and a weenie. You're welcome.
I
I
was
knew
not
that was
expecting
going
that.
there. I must be psychic or
I
something.
was not expecting that. That was awesome.
Sorry.
I can already tell we're gonna get along.
So,
I like that.
so the question
We
is,
gotta
which,
have a good time. Come on.
the question is, which knee is Mike going to autograph?
Just the cap. Not the
No,
knee,
he
just the cap.
He asked me to autograph his. Now I'm questioning my decision here.
Okay, that went further than what I even thought it was gonna go.
Nah, it's all in good
No,
fun.
it's too
We're having a good time.
Exactly. And that's what this is all about. Everybody getting together, having a good time, supporting the people that are there, whether it be the headliners like y'all or the guests that are coming. And for Bill,
Yes,
Ron,
exactly.
and Tanner.
And I will be bringing some photographs with me to autograph. I'm not a guest of the actual event itself. I'm a guest of Broadhead Manor. So
Mhm.
for those of them who don't know, I will be bringing some photographs with me. I'm not charging anything for it. If you want a photograph, you can just ask me to sign it. I'll give it to you.
I want one.
You got it.
Definitely.
I'm also bringing stickers too, so you can have a sticker as well.
Dana, will you sign my kneecap?
As long as it's not the weenie. Yeah.
I don't have one of those.
I'm only just clarifying.
You never know.
You
course
guys are
I
I'll
too
leave
would.
that one
funny.
alone. But yeah, so I'll be bringing photos. I'll be bringing stickers. I'm not charging anything for them. I'm sorry, I'm not that much of a paranormal celebrity that I got to charge you for my autograph. You want a picture, I'll sign it. You want a sticker, you can have one. You want a selfie, I'll take one with you.
Yeah.
Do you like fruity
Fruity
bits?
Oh,
Leave it to Mike.
so
Your mascara's running.
I think that was one of the best comments I've ever seen on one of my podcasts, and I've been on a lot of them.
Oh, too fun. So we're coming up close.
Riley, if you can attend and you want a photo, you just shoot me your address, man. I'll sign one and send it to you.
Aw, that's so kind of you.
Yeah, it is.
So-
Dana, are you signing autographs as well? Are you going to have pictures or no?
No. I don't think I
So,
I've only been asked for my autograph like twice in my entire life. I don't think I'm that
Wow.
big of a deal. But
well, if somebody wants your autograph,
I will
we'll
sign
happily-
something, sure, but I don't have any like photos or anything like that.
well, even the flyer, you're on the flyer, so you can
Oh
sign
yeah,
the
I
flyer.
could sign the flyer. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So there
what
you go.
I did for the first event that I ever was a guest on, it's right up here. I don't know if I might be able to get my phone up there. Was I had everyone sign the flyer that was a guest.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
if someone was walking around with the flyer and they asked you to sign it, then why not?
I
Yeah.
think that's better.
That's sort of what
Get
Chris.
everybody on there. Just have everybody.
Well,
sign.
Chris did that last year. Chris had all of his headliners sign the big posters, the big banners that he had.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, because
Yeah.
that's my plan. I'm telling you right now. I'm not ashamed to say I'm gonna walk around asking for autographs. I want everyone who attends the event to sign my thing so I can put it on my wall back here to promote everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my plan. So we're gonna have a couple big banners of the flyer with everybody on it. I'm gonna try having all the guests sign 2 of them. One is gonna get hung up at Broadhead, showing the event was there and who was all there. The other one, I'm gonna do a raffle for that, and all that money that is made on that raffle for that is gonna go right to Bill.
awesome. I love that.
That's a great idea.
I love that because I know Bill mentioned the place needs a roof or something like that. I think it was, and
It does.
anything that I can do to help Bill accomplish that goal, you guys just let me know.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
And, it's
definitely.
just the number one thing that anybody can do is promote the building itself.
Mhm.
You already know I'm
Bill,
going to.
yeah, Bill, did have a loss this year. So he is restructuring things for this summer. So he's not taking on as many private investigations that he
Yep.
normally does. But that doesn't mean that he's not open to something somewhere. So always
Yeah.
reach out to Bill, support
Yeah.
Bill,
Me and him discussed that loss probably about a month ago. I think it was maybe a little bit earlier, but yeah, I know about that, and obviously my heart goes out to him. But anything I can do to help, I mean, you guys, all you have to do is let me know, whether it's pushing it on my TikTok, pushing it on my YouTube, pushing it on whatever platform I have. You guys just let me know, and I'll do what I can.
Well, and likewise, any way
Excellent.
that we can help you guys out, let us know.
Well, for me, I can't speak for Dana, but for me, it's not about me, it's about the community.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
Sure.
about me. I'm kidding. I'm joking. It was
All
a
about
joke,
this girl
guys.
right here. It's all about her.
I can already tell me and her are going to get along too. I love your style.
No,
She's
it
like, what are
shouldn't
you
be
talking
about. I
about?
mean, I live like an hour and 15 minutes from Broadhead Manor, so I'm like, it's easy for me to be there. I'm happy to be there. Again, there's going to
Well,
be cool people there wandering around. Why wouldn't you want to go to that? I don't know what I'm
Right.
doing there yet, though. Am I talking, or no one's told me if I'm just showing up?
yeah, you're just
You
gonna
have to
show
tell
up and
me
you're
that
gonna,
you show up.
you're gonna dance the jig and do
Yeah.
stretch your
So-
stuff.
You know what's
And
really sad is I actually know how to jig
do you?
a little bit. Yeah.
I said that because of the Ireland thing.
So Chris,
But I really
Jalen,
think
do you guys have like an icon as far as like a screenshot or a photo that you can send me for the Rockdown? Just location, time, date. Because what I would
Sure.
like to do is I would like to add that to the commercials at the beginning of my podcast to promote the event.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Your
Yeah.
podcast is really going to take off. The All Access Network with Gwen is they're going places. They're doing big
Oh,
thing. So I'm really excited that you're on there.
Just wait till I have the controversial guests on, like you've seen nothing yet.
Mhm.
You just want like the flyer with all the guests on it and all the bands?
I
would
think he just
prefer
wants the logo.
Okay.
The logo
The
with the
logo?
Broadhead Manor and the
If you
dates.
just send me the logo, I can imprint whatever on it I need as far as when the times are, all that good stuff. I just want to push the event on my podcast.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
No,
Appreciate
absolutely.
that.
No need to thank me.
Well, we are coming up to an hour here. So Dana, are you offering readings to the general public?
I always read wherever I go. Yeah. If
So
I can.
how would people get a hold of you?
I don't have a website yet, believe it or not, because I just am not technically minded, but someone might be working on mine shortly because it's getting kind of out of hand. So they can reach me. Usually my email address is the best way to reach me,
Okay.
which is, don't laugh at this because my best friend made it up like 20 some years ago, maybe 30 now. hauntedspiritgirl@yahoo.com. It's easy to remember.
And for the record, you're not that old, so stop saying
Okay.
30 years ago. You can't be any
Bless
older
you.
than 30.
Legendary. I'm going to go with legendary. I like that title, but that's the easiest way. I have a lot of, I don't really like to read new people. A lot of people follow me on Facebook because I'm a meme weirdo. But I don't usually I don't want to be friends with someone before I read them because that takes out you looked at my Facebook page. I barely ask for last names when I schedule people that are new. So I just, look at how cute you are with your red hair. Hi.
Say hi.
Hi,
Oh my gosh, adorable.
I see you.
Adorable.
Very.
Very much so. Too
So that
fun.
is the easiest way to reach me.
Okay.
There's going to be quite a few psychics there, so I'm probably not going to be full, but
I'll
I
send
don't
people
know.
your
It depends who's reading and who's not too. There's all different people there. So
way. I'll send people your way just because we did the show together. I got you.
well, thank
Got
you.
your back.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So
Bye.
And Nathaniel, are you looking for new videos or anything to be sent your way
Yes.
for like debunking? So can
let me
people
tell
reach
you-
out to you?
I have 32 videos in queue right now.
Oh,
I
yeah.
am working on them painstakingly. It's going to take time, but I will get to them. And anyone who sends me a video and thank you for it, I shout out their social media platform, so people can go and follow them if they send me a video, because it's not I don't make money off TikTok. I don't make money off of anything that I do. I have literally $39 in my TikTok account right now that I've not cashed out because I don't do it for money. It's just gonna sit there and collect dust. I don't do this for money. I do it because I love it. But yeah, if you can send it to me at my email, which is segwarparanormal1@yahoo.com, or if you find me on TikTok at static_voices, or static voices, the underscores on Twitter, sorry. So static voices on TikTok, just send it to me there. I'm always looking for new material.
Awesome.
Excellent.
And to our viewers, would you guys like to give, per se, like a shout out in regards to the Rockdown, like something that you're really interested or excited about to let them know? Or
For me, I am excited for the music. I am a huge music fan. On my playlist on my Apple, I have everything from Beethoven up to heavy metal. Like, I am a music connoisseur. So for me, the music is going to be epic. I think the location is going to be amazing. It's an event that no one's going to want to miss.
thank you. What about you, Dana?
I would say again, I'm going to promo my state of Wisconsin. We have a handful of paranormal events compared to other places. I think it's important to support that if you are a paranormal enthusiast. This is a great one to come to. The lineup is immense. You have the bands as well, which is cool. And I just think that, any support of Broadhead Manor to keep it going as far as being refurbished and helping Bill out, I will promo that till I drop. So if I know I have friends in my neck of the woods that are coming, which I'm pretty happy about because they're always yelling at me, them in a different state. And this time I'm in my state, our state. So I'm like, go Wisconsin. Come on over.
Exactly. And tickets aren't very expensive if you,
No, they're not.
if
They're
you're
not.
going to one event or the other. You can get both for, what is it right now, $30, Chris?
They are
For
very
both the
reasonable.
concert and the haircon?
That's
Yeah,
beyond.
it's right around
That's-
there. And then
that's-
if you're a veteran first responder, $20 gets you in the both because half
You know
price
what,
tickets.
Chris? Do me a favor. Send me that information whenever you send me the graphic, so I can put that on there as more of a draw for the people that are first responders and stuff.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because I myself, I'm a certified first response medic. I'm certified in all kinds of things. I do bridge work for a living. So
Neat.
I'm a little bit of everything. But yeah, so send me that information so I can make sure to put that on my flyer for my podcast, so that way the word gets out.
Definitely will. Yeah, like in Kenneth Drake's words, it's do not want to miss. It's going to be the loudest weekend in the paranormal. So
Yes, and I believe Kenneth. I love Kenneth. He's an amazing guy. I'm just hoping he does well. Actually, I'm kind of hoping he wears the sunglasses, but the sunglasses, that's a whole story I'll tell y'all in person. How about that?
That's a Corey Hart song.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry.
it is.
Ooh, way back.
It is.
I know it. I know it.
See, I knew you'd understand.
You.
But all right, guys, thank you so much for coming
for
on
having
with
us.
us. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, we're always here for you. Hopefully we see you before the Rockdown, but if not, we'll see you at the Rockdown.
Well,
All right.
Jamie Lynn, I know I'll see you before the Rockdown because you and Bill are coming on my podcast 2 weeks beforehand. So,
Yep.
Chris, you're
Got-
more than welcome to attend that as well if you'd like.
Yeah, just let me know the date and I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll add you to my calendar just to make sure I have my producer, add the list or whatever. We'll make it work.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah,
All
but
right.
thank you guys
Wonderful.
for coming on.
Thank you
Everybody
guys
else
for having me.
everybody that's watching, we're about just roughly a little over 2 months away from the event. So go over to paranormalrockdown.com, get your tickets. First responders are half off. You could do all in, view everything for $90. About half the price than normally what these cons cost. So
That's a
definitely
good
get your
price.
tickets.
Yep.
And yeah, everybody have a great night and thanks for coming.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you
you
guys
guys.
for having us on.
Bye.
Dana, it was very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Bye.